Well, welcome back, you lovely bunch. Thanks for tuning in again. I hope you're all doing good. As you can see, I have my very lovely Marin out here, and the plan for today is to turn this winter road bike into a summer gravel bike. So people often ask, can you use a gravel bike as a road bike? Can you use a road bike as a gravel bike? And the answer is kind of. Like, you can pretty much get away with using a gravel bike as a road bike just by switching the tyres over. So I would call this a dual purpose or a multi-purpose bike. At the moment, in its current setup, it's perfect for winter rides. It's got full mud guards, it's got some nice aero carbon wheels on there, but obviously in its current state it's no good for gravel. So my plan is to switch the wheels, put these 650Bs on. They've got a beefy set of WTB Enduro tyres on there, so these wheels should turn this into a very nice aluminium gravel bike. So I'm lucky, I have multiple road bikes, gravel bikes, mountain bikes, track bikes, bikes for every situation. But some of you might not want to buy like multiple bikes, you might not be able to afford multiple bikes. So can you get one bike that can pretty much do everything? Well, the answer is yes. This is an aluminium frame. Obviously you can get higher end like carbon frames that do the same thing. So I listen to a lot of cycling podcasts, and a while ago on the Chris Miller podcast, they were talking about dual purpose bikes and multi-purpose bikes, and it kind of triggered me. It came across as very elitist, and one of the problems I think with cycling is it's a very elitist sport. It is. It's very expensive to get into. So myself, as a cyclist that has a YouTube channel, I want you guys to know that you don't need to have the highest end stuff in order to enjoy cycling. You can have an awesome ride on a bike that costs £30 or a bike that costs £10,000. So I don't agree with this whole attitude. I don't think you need a bike for each discipline. I think if you're riding at the highest level, yes, you need a really good road bike. If you're racing at a high level of gravel or mountain bike or downhill, obviously you'll have the best of the best. But for most people, you can get away with a bike that does everything, and that's what we're going to do today. So I asked Chris if I can post a clip and get your guys' opinion on it, so I'm going to post a clip here and you guys can watch it, and then whilst I'm doing that I'm going to take these wheels off, switch over the rotors, and you guys can let me know in the comment if you agree with Chris and Jesse. I'm going to get this bike ready for some gravel shredding. Right, so cue the clip and I'm going to stay quiet.
This Bike Radar Bike of the Year they announced for 2023 was this Vitus Venom. Who's this for? Is someone really going and doing a crit and then changing the wheels and going and doing a 4-hour gravel ride? Is this, because to me it makes no sense. I would never use this.
I'd never heard of this bike brand ever. In terms of someone talking to me, like, there are customers that come to my store that say, I want to start biking and I want to do triathlons and also road bike and maybe gravel. And I'm like, that's not possible.
So, what do we think? Do we agree with Jesse and Chris and the guy from the bike shop? Do we need to have a bike for each discipline, or can you ride a bike that does everything? So I've ridden a few time trials. I don't have a time trial bike. I've ridden my road bike, I've ridden my track bike. You can ride anything on a time trial. Yes, if you want to be a world-class time trial athlete, you ride a really good time trial bike. But this whole that whole attitude that you just saw, and I'm sorry, like, I respect the amount of work those guys do on their podcast and their YouTube channel, but that's the elitist snobbery that like plagues the cycle industry. I'm sitting here with like a posh set of carbon wheels. A few years ago, these hyper wheels by Windspace, people kind of scoffed at them because they weren't Zip or Envy or any of that sort of stuff, you know? And again, like, they didn't cost like as much as other higher end brands, so therefore they're rubbish. And you see this with like the wheel top group set, some carbon bars. I put these carbon bars on, they're from China, they were like £50, and everyone's like, they're going to break, you're going to lose your teeth. And do you know what? They're fine. I think the cycle industry, especially in the current state, could do with a little bit less snobbery, and we could get more people involved in cycling by kind of dropping that whole attitude. And if you want to buy a cheap road bike, you can go and do a crit on it, you can do a time trial on it. If you get a disc brake one, you could fit 650Bs, like a light gravel tyre to it, and there's no reason you couldn't do a light gravel ride or a bit of a gravel event on it. I'm not going to give it too much focus, but yeah, it just kind of annoyed me, especially because I'm about to turn this bike into a gravel bike. I use it for road, and I could happily do like a 200-mile road ride on it, and then a day after switch the wheels and do a gravel ride. But anyway, back to the build. I could very easily put a set of gravel tyres on here, but I do want to use these wheels with this frame set. And another thing I've got to do is I have to change the bars on this. I want to use the aero bars from here on this build. So the plan today is to get the mudguards off, the wheels switched, then I've got to pop to Dan's later because he's going to help me do the brakes. I just need help with brakes. I've decided I can't do brakes, so I'm going to invest the help of a professional. So Dan's going to help me switch the brakes from these road bars onto a set of gravel bars, which will more suit this build, and then I can use these road bars for this bike and then potentially set up the wheel top disc brakes at the same time. Enough waffling, let's get this mudguard off, rotor switched over, wheels on, get to Dan's house, change the bars, and then I'll show you this bike in its final form. Let's see what this looks like as a gravel bike. Right, let's crack on. What do you think? I've just got back from Dan's house. He switched over my bars. Some massive thanks to Dan for helping me out. See, so now I have some gravel bars on this. They're a lot wider than the old bars that were on there. I feel they're a lot more suited to like a multi-purpose bike. Like the other ones were narrow, they were racy, they looked awesome, but they're definitely better for my road bike than a gravel stroke road bike. So my winter road bike has now been converted into a summer gravel bike. This is what I particularly love about gravel bikes. They can be anything. You can turn it into a bit of a road machine for like bike packing or whatever. You can use it for off-road. You can put 650s on and use it for more aggressive gravel. I've got a very aggressive tyre on here. I do want to switch it to like the Venture, which is a slightly less aggressive 650, but it's still wide. It will still take out a lot of the bumps, but it'll be faster rolling on the road, but still good off-road. It's no surprise that people don't always agree on the internet, and within the cycling community, I'm all for supporting the cycling community, but I think that in this sense, like the guys on the podcast were wrong. You know, if you want to use a bike to race crits at the highest level, yes, you'll need a specific bike for each. But if you're just starting out and you want to do a time trial, ride your road bike, ride your gravel bike, ride whatever bike you want to ride. So this can be a gravel bike or a road bike. Is it the best road bike in the world? No. But is it good enough for long distance rides, sportives, all that kind of stuff? Yes. Could I then switch the wheels or the tyres and go and ride a gravel event the next day? Yes, and would I have fun doing it? I sure would, but that's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think I'm stupid doing this kind of thing? Should I have one bike for each purpose? I mean, I know I do, but for the sake of this video, let's just pretend this is my only bike. Now I have a bike that's good on the road and good off-road. For me, win-win. Looking forward to taking this out for a bit of a shred, seeing how the aluminium frame does off-road. I think this looks spectacular, honestly. And I also must point out that this is not Marin's most expensive frame. This is not the highest end frame set they make. This is their entry-level aluminium do-it-all all-road frame. And it very much does that. It does everything. You can have it as a road bike, you could run it as a 2x, you can run it as a gravel bike, you can run it for whatever you want. So I strongly believe that multi-purpose bikes are amazing. I think they're very much needed, they're very useful. Not everyone wants to buy 15 bikes. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thank you as always for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And let me know what you think of this beautiful bike. Right, I'll catch you all later. Bye!